Can you talk about the value that you and Joe puts on smarts in players? And let me ask. I'll have another one for you after that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I can't speak for Joe, but for me, I think it's important. You want guys who have some good football awareness and instincts. So I guess that factors into the smart part. The biggest thing is I could care less about what it is off the field, like not in a bad way, but I could care less about off the field. But like on the field, they're able to figure out what the offense is doing. Can they process multiple things that we might give them on a given play? But I do think that, you put a high value on that because it helps you be more multiple. It helps you to do more things, and just more aware players end up making more plays.
And do you and Jason share a unique bond? You're both Ivy Leaguers. There's not a lot of coordinators in the NFL of Ivy Leaguers. Do you talk about that much, share your experiences, and is there a pride factor in that?
No, I mean, we've talked about it before briefly, but like nothing big. I mean, I wasn't a good player. He was a good player, so it's a totally different situation. Like, he was actually playing in the games. I was really just sitting there on the sideline making sure to keep the bench warm. So it was a little different experience, but proud of being a member of that fraternity, if you want to think of it like that way. But there's been a lot of great players and a lot of great coaches from those schools.
You didn't play. You didn't say you didn't play much at Yale, but you did go to Yale, right?
Yeah. No question.
I mean, so
I was on the team. I tell people I was on the team. Right. So you played at Yale. I'm like, I was on the team. I practiced at Yale.
you went to classes at Yale too, though, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
And I enjoyed my experience.
Thank you.
Yep.
Patrick, can you we were talking to Julian Love the other day, and he talked about how he spent most of his career bouncing around from position to position in the secondary. A lot of times in a scheme, that's not a good thing. It seems like that's almost the perfect thing for something like you're trying to run here. How does he fit into this rotation and this I guess fluid secondary that you're trying to put?
I think the thing about Love that stands out, just piggybacking off of the previous question, he is a smart football player on and off the field in terms of his awareness with the situations, awareness of personnel the offense is giving us. So, the fact that he's able to see that and dissect that, that's been a good thing for us. The fact that he's played multiple positions, whether he's been a corner, wherever he's played, I mean, that's a positive because it gives us an opportunity to use his skill sets, whether it's covering a receiver from coming down or covering a receiver and he's down there, covering a back from depth or lining up to cover a back. He can use his skill set to handle that. And because he has he understands the bigger picture because he's played multiple spots, it makes it even more interchangeable, if that makes sense.
Thank you. I like your old school hat too, by the way.
Oh, thanks. My brother got this for me.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about something that Coach Judge said to us a little while ago. He mentioned he complimented you for taking Miami's defense last year, building it, and then by the end of the year, it was starting to play really well. And I just wanted to go back to that for a second. When you have, all kinds of holes, all kinds of questions, just putting it all together, what was the key for you, especially since you had so many young players there like you do now?
Well, first off, any improvement, I appreciate that. Any improvement is really, it's the players, and then it was, Coach Flores' vision, in terms of what he wanted us to do as a defense and how we grew over the time that was there. But in terms of what I try to do as a coach, I tell them all the time, I focus on their fundamentals, football position, where are their eyes? Are we playing with our hands? Are we playing with a good base? I really think that's a majority of what I'm coaching. And then once we get into the season, I start to introduce those guys, especially when you're dealing with young players, NFL football. It's different. It's just a different game. It's people-based. You have to know who you're going against. It's not, we're running the Pat Graham scheme. It's not that. It's about, okay, who do we have and how can we take advantage of their weaknesses? Who do they have that we have to take away? And so as you build through the year, you try to introduce that and teach those guys those aspects. It takes time. To be honest with you, it takes time. And, once they get it, okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's 3rd and 7, but does it matter what I call or does it matter, do we know who they're throwing the ball to? Does that make sense? Like, I mean, so it takes time for them to get over the fact, okay, I'm playing outside leverage, just cover one, I'm going to post safety, blah, 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 blah. Then to the point where it's, okay, they're throwing the ball to 83. We have to take him away. Where are my tools to do that? So it takes time to build that. And, you know, it's not just third down, it's early down, red area, whatever it may be, but it takes some time to do that. And just like anything, you know, like when you're teaching, I don't want to say kids, but like the young players, inexperienced players, they need to experience that in order for them to grow and then really be able to utilize their tools, because they make all the decisions out there on the field. You know, it's split-second decisions. That's why they're the elite of the elite. And, you know, you just try to do your best job to get them ready for those moments.
I wanted to ask you about your two rookie defensive backs. Dorn seems like he's been a pleasant surprise, especially with his ball skills. And just what you've seen from Xavier McKinney so far with those guys being out there for a whole week, and then with the scrimmage, obviously, this past Friday.
I'll start both of the guys. I mean, it's not just them. We got a bunch of young guys that are working their tails off. But, I mean, they come in, they go to work. You know, Darnay, Zay, I call them Zay. So Darnay and Zay, they go to work. They come in, they're prepared, they're ready for meetings. I think they're being really diligent outside of the building in terms of they're coming in with the right questions the next day. You know, you can tell they've already watched the tape before we even get to it, because they're being real serious about their craft. And, I mean, I can appreciate that, because a lot of times it takes a while to learn that. And, you know, they didn't have the spring to be around the vets. So, okay, you don't have the spring to be around the vets. So how are you learning that? Like, they're kind of catching up right now and understanding the work that you have to put into it. But, I mean, it's been a positive. And, I mean, whether it's a surprise or not, I can't speak on that. I mean, we wanted these guys for a reason. Our scouting department and, you know, Mr. Gelman, they did a great job of IDing these guys as people we want on our team through collaboration with the coaching staff. But these guys, they're good kids. They work hard. They still got ways to go, and they know that. And, you know, thankfully, well, I don't know if they'll say thankfully, we remind them they got ways to go all the time. So, but, you know, they're working hard, and, you know, hopefully it all comes to fruition out there on the field as we keep going through this thing.
Obviously, you guys are throwing a little bit of a curveball, kind of expecting DeAndre to be there, especially on the outside. Is there anything about what you've seen from Darnay that makes you think that he could kind of thrive in that outside spot?
Well, the NFL, the thing I found out about the NFL, every year, every week, every day is different. Yeah, so you don't want to get caught off guard by surprise, whatever it may be. Every day is different. So the guys that are here, those are the guys we're working with. And, I mean, honestly, all these guys are competing for the spots out there on the field. There are 11 spots out there on the field any given down based on the situation, based on what game and who's available. And those guys are all competing. So, I mean, to speak specifically about Darnay or Zay, and that, I mean, they're all out there competing for the spots, because I don't know who's going to be out there. We could have 4 corners out there. We got 2 corners out there. But, I mean, they're all learning multiple spots, trying to figure out if the more I can do, the more value I have. The easier it is to make the team, the more value you have, if that makes sense.
When we talk about the pass rush, I think a big part of it, obviously, is the interior part of it as well, which sometimes gets overlooked. You don't have a lot of guys there with huge track records as pass rushers. Maybe Leonard is probably the only one as a real pass rusher. So I'm wondering, when you look at your outside guys, do you look at that as and maybe which ones do you look at as that could potentially help you by moving and sliding inside on rushing downs?
Well, I think we have guys that can. To me, when you're talking about the interior of the pass rush, whether it's third down, early down, whatever it may be, you're talking about some push in the middle. That's, you're looking for some push, because in this league, if we run around the edges all the time, the quarterback's going to step up and make the easier throw down in the middle. So we got to get some push. That can be with the big guys. It can be with the smaller guys. I think we evaluate the whole roster in terms of that. But, the more the guys can do, the better off we'll be. So do I like to mix in a defensive end in the inside? Absolutely, because it's a different skill set going over there, over a guard, over a center. Do we like to use a backer to maybe be the inside part of the pass rush? I think, again, not the harp on sacks or anything, but I just think it's important for them to understand what we're talking about with the pass rush. We want to have, contain the quarterback, and we want to make sure we're getting pushed up the middle, but we want to really cage that guy up. And then guys win their one-on-one battles, and that's how you end up getting some production in terms of the sacks, the QB hits and things of that nature. But, I like to mix it up, because each guy, we're going to try to highlight each guy's talent. So, You know, if Pat Graham's rushing, again, my talent might be better suited for the guard as opposed to for the tackle. You know, if you're better, your skills might be better suited for the tackle. So we move, you know, it's all interchangeable in my opinion. And I think, you know, the guys are embracing that.
Heading into Friday night, I mean, I know Joe has said he wanted, even last week in the intra-squad, that you and Jason would kind of go live and, you know, script, off script. How much more intensity or urgency do you feel come Friday night, knowing, you know, we're here and you're doing a great job explaining everything, and you keep saying it's going to take time, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Also know that the finish line is coming up. September 14th is coming. How you feel that urgency of needing to get this team ready to go on the defensive side of the ball?
Right, wrong, or indifferent, I feel that urgency every day. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I don't know if there's enough hours in the day to get done what I want to get done. So, you know, we try to plan that out. You know, I think realistically, the goals you set in terms of installation, in terms of awareness, you got to plan that out throughout the year. You know, you got to plan it out. Not saying, you know, we got to be ready to go for Pittsburgh. There's no question. Do I feel the urgency of that? Absolutely. You know, less than 21 days. Here we go, and we're playing one of the best teams in the world. I mean, like, yeah, there's some urgency with a good quarterback, good backs, good line, great head coach. I mean, you're dealing with a lot there. But you got to trust the process. And the beauty of working for Joe, his vision and how he set it out since he got the job. We know what we want it to look like, you know, and we're trying to build towards that. We want to be a tough team. We want that to jump off the film. Now, again, we got to put in the necessary work over these next 20 days to make sure that we get there for that. But, like, we know what we want. The head coach set the vision. We know what it wants to look like. We don't want to beat ourselves with dumb penalties. We don't want to play. We want to eliminate bad football. We want to make sure on defense we can tackle, get off blocks, defend the deep part of the field. I mean, we know what the plan – so we've laid out the plan for that. Now it's all about executing. And do we have 20 days left? Yeah, we got 20 days left to do it. And we got to figure it out because everybody's in the same boat. I mean, everybody else is dealing with 19 days, but aside from us and Steelers and I think San Fran and whoever the other Monday night game is. But, like,
right.
I mean, you know, 28 other teams are dealing with 19 days. So, I mean, everybody's got to feel that urgency. But in this league, if you don't feel a sense of urgency every day, you'll get passed by, I think.
Just a quick follow-up. Sorry to interrupt you. For Friday night, I know you didn't for last Friday. Will you do any game planning whatsoever for your guys, or will you just kind of run
you know,
stuff?
I think realistically, you got to help them play fast. You got to cut the menu and explain to them what the menu is for the night. And then also for myself mentally, you know, because, you know, what you realize is you're rusty too when you go out there. The first time you're calling it live and, oh, you know, am I seeing the situations? Am I hearing everything the right way? So in order to, you know, to get myself working towards the process to get ready for a game, you got to cut it down. It helps the players cut it down and then be able to go, so I can make sure I'm in tune with the situations, the personnel units going in and out, get done what we want to get done, go over the must for the day. So with all that being said, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge, and I need it. I'll tell you that much. I need it. I mean, there's no question. I mean, you know, you think about it. Last time I called the game was in December. So, you know, like, so, and then, you know, so, like, I need it, and I'm looking forward to it. And I know this. I know I'll be better than last week, this week. Hopefully I'll be better the following week than I am this week. But it's just got to be constant improvement. No different than what we tell the players. Get better every day. That's what I'm trying to do.